good, people? It's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 290. Wow, there is so much to go over in this chapter. This is one of those chapters where it almost doesn't feel like you read 19, 20 pages, okay? Because of how much information is just crammed deep inside of it. I really feel like I just read a Hunter x Hunter chapter where I read the chapter and I almost don't want to review it right after. I just want to sit down and actually write out a script for it, but part of these reviews is you guys get my immediate thoughts and reactions right after I do the review. So we're just going to carry on this tradition as usual. So what really stands out in this chapter is we see Noland and Kalgara, they form their friendship, right? And what's very beautiful about their friendship is things they had differences over, like Kalgara being furious that Noland called the snake, which I think that's the same snake that Luffy got eaten by. Somebody tell me that in the comment section below. I'm pretty damn sure that's the same snake. But because Kalgara tells him in 100 years he'll probably be just as big. So the thing about this chapter that's really standing out, like I said, is their friendship and their relationship. And we see them laughing, and it's even told to us by one of the Shandorian warriors, like, we've never seen Kalgara this friendly with anybody. We've never seen it. Not at all. And so I'm looking at that, and one of the things that's really standing out is it just shows that when people come from different backgrounds, if you take the time, if you have empathy for others, and I got a serious look because this is something very serious to me, but if you have empathy for others, you'll be able to form bonds, and the bonds that you form will build friendships that will last forever, or so it seems. And you guys are ahead, so you know what happens. But I like the message that Oda puts in there, because that is something, especially now, you know, because if you would have told me, God, maybe 4 months ago that our president-elect would be Donald Trump, and that a couple of days after the election we would have people, I don't mean to get political, but you know, I'm just going to say what's on my mind, that we would have people, first of all, rioting in the streets and protesting in the streets, and we would have white supremacist groups openly displaying racism. Like a few days ago, when the election was, you know, taking place, like I actually saw a noose around the neck, not of a person, but just of like a straw body object. I might put the video, not the video, the picture in this video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But just, there's a bunch of shit. Like there was a white supremacist neo-Nazi group that was saying "Hail Trump," and I mean, this shit's getting really scary right now. And so I say that to say, it's funny how a chapter Oda made almost, what, 12, 13 years ago is so relevant now, the message. And it's more relevant now than ever before. So soapbox moment over. Like I said, I don't want to kind of weigh you guys down with talk like this. That's what my other channel's for if I ever decide to put more content on it. But what's beautiful about this is after we see these two getting along and we see the change slowly starting to spread through all the different villagers, and we see the actual city of gold, El Dorado. We see the city of gold, and Kalgara's like, look, you saved us of that evil sickness. The villagers are all okay with it. We protect everything in here because of the Poneglyph. You know, that's proof that our ancestors fought and they protected and they died for all of this. We ring this bell so we can tell them to come home because their spirits went up to the sky. So we see some more of the mythos and the lore kind of expanding, as well as some themes with religion, because depending on which religion you want to insert, that resonates with almost every religion. So that was cool to see that, and how they're bringing everything back to the ship, and they're taking the gold. They even found an internal log, which was cool because we're seeing Oda. It's like different things that are relevant now. Oda is just throwing it all in there. So really cool. And yet, one of the things that occurs is Noland tells Kalgara, and quick question, is it Kalgara or is there something else with this? And the reason why is I know R's are very hard to translate in Japanese, and I told you guys a few times, like I really feel like a lot of the kanji and all this, like the Japanese writing, just gets put in Google Translate for the Viz translations, because that's the only way I can understand. Well, Japanese is hard as hell to read anyway, but that's the one of the only, not only, that's one of the many reasons why I think that sometimes the R's and the Z's and the L's get mixed up. So is it Kalgara or is it Kalgara? You know, somebody let me know down in the comment section below. Like I said, I'm pre-recording, so this can be one of those Zolo things. I apologize, but the thing about One Piece is, you know, the names and stuff come back up sooner or later. So I want to get this right for the next one. Now, with all that being said, Noland says that he actually heard the bell, and that's why he was able to get through the storm. So even the bell is kind of reaching out to people who aren't really on the island. And so to see all of that and see all these threads just kind of interwoven, and how Kalgara says, hey, I want you to stay. I want to hear more about your exploits, about your travels, which is something I could see Luffy doing sometime when he meets somebody. It's, you know, Luffy just telling his stuff, or him and Shanks meeting back up and having a party, and, you know, Shanks and Luffy exchanging stories. That would be an ideal ending for me for One Piece, for Luffy to get Shanks' hat back and they just have the talking. That's what I would like to see. That's actually my chapter question. How do you want One Piece to end? Try to keep the spoilers out. But the thing about that is, after we see these two, they're all chummy, they've agreed that Noland will stay until everyone is cured, all of a sudden the atmosphere changes. And I really think that this is when the bell got stolen. And the reason why I'm saying that is they no longer hear the bell. Kalgara is super pissed. He's like, if I find him, I'm going to kill him. And he's like, I never want to see his face again. And Noland, he's about to depart. The mood's changed. Even Seto's pissed off. And Seto's one of the people sticking up for him. So that's what's got me very interested, because Noland's like, we'll leave in 3 days. Tell the men to cherish their time on land. And we're going to finish our job. You know, 2 more days will be enough for us to finish planting the different soils and the seeds and roots to help these people out later on, which we see obviously worked. But another day and then we'll set sail. So it's 3 days total. And so 3 is a very interesting number, because in literature, you know, 3, 7, 13, 30, 40, those are really big numbers. So anytime an author uses them, there's usually some type of purpose behind it. It's usually not random. There are exceptions, but that's usually not a random number. There's some type of meaning behind it, and it's because in a lot of religions, those are very symbolic numbers. And because Skypiea, this arc, deals with so many religious themes, I'm going to chalk this up to that. There's going to be some type of event when it gets to day number 3. But what's also telling is Noland has his ear to the ground. He's listening. And El Dorado, the city of gold, is underneath the ground. So I'm really wondering, is Noland listening for the bell? Is he going to try and go on a mission to find the bell? But we also know that he wasn't lying about the city of gold. We know it, but now we actually see it in its full glory. And so I'm wondering, is this going to have something that ties into how he becomes Noland the liar? That's what I really want to know. So pretty simple chapter, guys. You know, very good chapter. Simple in that the events are very cut and dry, in your face, not too hard to understand, and yet it's packed with so much stuff. It's like a Hunter x Hunter chapter where you have to go back and reread it slowly, one section at a time, and let it sink in. So I love it when Oda does these types of chapters. So my chapter question, I've given it to you guys before. Make sure you hit that like button, as it really helps the channel out. Make sure to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching, guys. Have an awesome day.
Are you